and welcome to Cupcake Addiction's easy microwave modelling chocolate recipe and tutorial, where I'll be showing you how to make some easy microwavable modelling chocolate. I've had so many requests asking me to post a fondant recipe and tutorial, and I just haven't come across a fondant recipe that I'm happy to share that I actually like working with. So modelling chocolate is my answer. Everything that I've done throughout my tutorials that I've done with fondant, you can use modelling chocolate for. This handbag, for example, is covered in modelling chocolate. Looks fantastic, it's easy to work with, you can make it at home, and it tastes a lot better. Equipment and ingredients that I'll be using today. I have a spoon. I have 4 tablespoons of glucose syrup. Your equivalent in the US will be corn syrup. I have that in a bowl with 1 tablespoon of just tap water, and that's been warmed up for about 30 seconds in the microwave just to make it a lot more fluid and a lot easier to mix through the melted white chocolate. White chocolate, I have 250 grams or 9 ounces. Now that needs to be melted, as I mentioned. You can use a double boiler, but I like to pop mine in the microwave for 30-second intervals, stirring in between until I'm happy that it's melted. It normally takes between 1.5 minutes and 2 minutes. I'm going to pop that in the microwave now. Okay, so I've got my melted white chocolate. While I've been melting that, I've also cleaned up my workspace because we are going to need quite a bit of room for this stage. Melted white chocolate ended up taking me 4 blasts of 30 seconds, stirring well in between. Make sure that you do stir it well in between each 30-second blast, as chocolate melts best when it's actually being agitated. So it might not look like it's melting, but you don't want to overcook your chocolate. I've got my glucose and water mixture. As I mentioned, it's quite warm. It's been microwaved also for about 30 seconds. So I'm just going to pour that in. And taking the spoon, I'm just going to stir around. So you can see there that clear river on top of our glucose water mixture. Now this is the part of your modelling chocolate where it has a tendency to go awry. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you don't overmix at this stage. You can see as I'm mixing, there's still little clear rivers of glucose running through. You want to mix until it just comes together. So until you just get rid of those little clear rivers. And as soon as you can't see them anymore, stop mixing. You can see I'm going around in some nice big wide swirls rather than mixing it really fast. I just want to keep a bit of control over the amount of mixing, and I'm scraping right off to the corners. So that there is about perfect. The way that I tell is if you lift the spoon, you can see that chocolate is actually coming off the bottom of the bowl there. Now at this stage, I'm going to take some cling film or some plastic wrap. Forgive me, I should have actually mentioned this in my ingredients. I'm going to take the cling film and I'm just going to scoop that modelling chocolate out onto the cling film. I'm going to fold the cling film over. I'm just going to spread that modelling chocolate out. This is just going to help it set a little bit quicker so it's not just a big clump, it's a little bit flatter and wider. Now this I'm going to leave. I would normally leave this overnight, or you can refrigerate it for about 3 hours. I prefer to leave it overnight. I just find that it's a better set. I don't refrigerate it when I leave it overnight. I just leave it at room temperature. So when your modelling chocolate has had, like I said, about 12 hours or so to set, this is what you're left with. So you want to peel apart that plastic wrap. Make sure not to leave any of it on the modelling chocolate. And just pull your modelling chocolate out. Now, we're going to knead the modelling chocolate. Once again, you don't want to over knead your modelling chocolate. If it starts to look greasy, then you're over kneading it. So if it starts to look greasy, don't worry. Just wrap it back up and put it back in the fridge for an hour or so until it comes back to a nice firm consistency. You can see there I'm actually putting quite a bit of pressure on this, quite a bit of weight behind it. Knead it in between your hands if you find that easier. I'm not going to knead this for very long, just a couple of minutes, just to smooth it out. Get a lovely consistency. Now here you have your finished modelling chocolate. Now for this, I now wrap it back up in plastic wrap, and I like to leave it overnight again before I actually add any colour. It just helps it to settle down and stops it from being so sticky. If you do want to colour your modelling chocolate, use a colour paste rather than a liquid colour. If you do need to use a liquid colour, only use it for really pale colours. The paste adds a lot less liquid to the modelling chocolate and is less likely to break up that consistency. If you find your modelling chocolate is getting too sticky to work with, pop it back into the fridge for an hour or so. It just needs to set a little bit harder. You might find that your hands are a little bit warm as you're working with it. Now, modelling chocolate is absolutely fantastic for, like I said, all kinds of decorating, figurine making, and you'll notice we use it a lot in upcoming tutorials.